You're looking at the Alliance for America's Skilled Trades, which has been started by Google, Ford, BlackRock, and Carhartt. The goals, according to Google, are for building a stronger pipeline for the skilled trades, scaling proven evidence-based training approaches, and inviting new partners to help expand opportunities nationwide. We're going to go ahead and bring in Ed Brady, who is the president and CEO of the Home Builders Institute. Ed, it's great to have you back on Live Now from Fox.
Yeah, good morning, Ryan. Thanks for having me.
So let's go ahead and get your initial thoughts and your initial reaction to seeing really a major group of companies here, a diverse group of companies too, we should point out, with it being a tech giant, an automotive giant, launching and investing in skilled trades like this.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, welcome to the party. Thrilled to have them involved. These are, as you said, major corporations that have realized that we have a crisis in this country for skilled trades. And for them to invest millions, hundreds of millions of dollars into this cause, I welcome. A lot to be understood on what they're exactly doing and how they're doing it, but any resources we can get to solve this crisis is welcome.
And that's just kind of my next question here. It seems like you still have some key questions that haven't exactly been answered or explained in their rollout. What are those questions involved from you?
Well, first, why? I think I can answer this is why are these large corporations jumping into skilled trades? So it might be unconventional in, historically or traditionally, but it's obvious that they've realized that they can't build the infrastructure, the data centers, the facilities that they need to expand their business. And so I believe they're addressing an acute problem on their behalf in the sense that they can't find electricians, plumbers, HVAC techs. My hope is that this is well beyond that these companies understand, and you look at Ford. Why is Ford in this? Well, it's a good question. So those are the things that we need to understand. I mean, Ford's got hundreds of facilities throughout the country that need maintained. And so every segment of industry is touched by the lack of skilled labor. So again, I welcome them, but what does this look like? How are they going to use their resources to better, and from a long-term sustainable perspective, better the skilled workforce? Why haven't they reached out to us? And frankly, we've had conversations with them, but we have not built that relationship yet. And so we're hopeful, and we'll continue those conversations.
And so you said you've had some preliminary conversations here and there with them, but you haven't really given them any input exactly on this initiative just yet. But that's something you'd like to do.
Oh, absolutely. We have ongoing conversations, and we know we can help. We fill HBI, that is Home Builders Institute. We fill a pipeline for apprentices. We're a pre-apprenticeship, so we're in middle schools, junior highs. We're in high schools throughout the country, and we're in post-secondary. We transition. We train transitioning military. We train second chance. We train those that are displaced. And so we know we can fill the pipeline. And when we find out what their need is, I know we can help meet that.
And I think you brought up an interesting point earlier, which is you and I were talking about Ford being on here, and it makes sense for Ford to be a part of a trade initiative and an investment like this because there is an auto technician shortage. We've covered it extensively across the country. That is a massive problem right now, and it's a lot of money that is being left on the table. These are some very good paying jobs that don't cost a lot of money when it comes to the schooling aspect of this. And I'm sure you're seeing this in a lot of different trades, not just auto technicians, but there are a lot of trade jobs out there that need to be filled. And we're missing out on a lot of economic output by these jobs not being filled.
Exactly. I mean, we're not the only industry that is having trouble filling slots. The medical industry, the automotive industry, the manufacturing industry. But we created a research project a couple of years ago that the lack of skilled labor is almost a $12 billion annual challenge, and it's in two tranches. One is lack of skilled labor. I'm a builder, been a builder for 32 years. The lack of timing and the cycle, if it's extended, costs money. That money is passed on to consumers. And so if you don't have the skilled labor, you're sitting there for a month with a foundation that's just idle. It costs $1,200, $1,500, depending on the carry costs and the interest rates. That's passed on to consumers. So that's a challenge in accessible, affordable housing. And we're also building about 19,000 less homes than we could if we had the skilled labor. That in itself is a $10.8 billion economic development. So to your point, if we don't have the skill in this country to manufacture, and we do on the job manufacturing and housing, but automotive, manufacturing facilities, if we don't have that skilled labor, it's not only an economic output, it's an inflationary output. And so this has a ripple effect across the industries.
And is it more of just the unwillingness of people to want to get into these trades? Because we've talked a lot about the money, and the money's an easy sell. There's a lack of schooling, or I mean, a significantly lower cost and lower time frame of schooling that you need to get into some of these trades. It seems like it can be a good sell, especially if somebody doesn't have an interest in going to a 4-year college and going that route. What do you think's holding it back right now?
Well, I do think we've made some impact and we've made some headway on that. College tuition so high, the graduation rates are low. The jobs that they're coming out with and looking for don't pay as much as an electrician or a plumber or an HVAC tech. And they just spent 4 years, went $50,000 in the hole, and it's going to take them a long time. So I think that's a headwind or tailwind for us, a headwind for the higher education. And God love a higher education is needed in this country. But 60% of the jobs that are created over the next 10 years will not require a college degree. And so we can do short-term training for somebody off the street, somebody that comes in right after high school and says, hey, I just decided to be an electrician. We could do the 9 to 12-week training, get them get them intro and initiated into the industry, and then it's on the job training. Whether it's a small A apprenticeship or a large A apprenticeship, they can learn this trade. And these are good paying jobs. These are 6-figure jobs, 2 or 3 years right out of high school. If you put your time in, you work hard. And the ultimate for my professional trade is you own your own business. You can be a plumber for 5 years, and all of a sudden now you've got 6 plumbers working for you, or vice versa. So entrepreneurship, the perception of this industry is changing because of things like you putting us on this show, because we're in high schools and talking to counselors, talking to parents. So I think we're in a good trajectory. We got some work to do. We have to have the resources. What is intriguing about this alliance is we've been doing this for 57 years. You want a proven track record of success and how people can be trained? Talk to HBI, talk to Goodwills, talk to these other companies that have been doing it for many, many years and continue to expand our reach so that we can touch more people.
And last question before we let you go, and touching on what you just said right there, as this alliance continues to be rolled out, we learn more details about it. What are you going to be watching for as we get more of those details?
Well, look, I think success is in the details and the outcomes, right? And so I don't know how they're recruiting, who they're putting into these jobs, who is hiring these jobs. Our success at HBI is we find a job for somebody to enter a career path. And so this corporate dollars that are going into this, is it just going to satisfy a quick need and build these data centers, which may take years? Don't get me wrong, that may take years to do it. But and we welcome all electricians, HVAC plumbers, all these people into the industry because it's a transient business. Once you're in the industry, you love the industry. So I think success will be time dated, right? I mean, we don't know how many people they'll train, how many people they'll put into the industry, and how many will continue to be in the industry. And so, but they also need to invest in the pipeline of the industry, all this alliance. And so I would really look forward to finding out more about this alliance. We welcome the participation. We certainly welcome the resources because there is a crisis in this country. We can't provide the skilled labor to build the accessible, affordable housing, to build the infrastructure in this country. And so we welcome everybody. We've been operating under Future Builders of America for 5 or 6 years now. I know BlackRock has used that. I think it's a wonderful way to look at introducing and bringing people into the industry, because these truly are the future generation, the next generation of skilled labor in this country to build what we need in this country.
Definitely something we want to continue to follow. Ed Brady with the Home Builders Institute, the president and CEO. We thank you so much for your time here on Live Now from Fox. We'll definitely have you back on to talk about this in the near future. Thank you.
Always great, Ryan. Thanks so much.